Hey everyone, Greg Mescall here with you, and we've been talking over the last several weeks as part of our at-home series about how you can stay active when you're at home. We have a special guest today, Evan Ramsey, former water polo player, now stuck with his job in Dubai. So, Evan, you have a different circumstance than a lot of our water polo players here in the U.S. You were living in China, you're in Dubai now for work, and due to all the travel restrictions, you can't go home, so you're stuck there. For starters, how are you holding up? How's everything going there?
I think it's all right. I'm holding up. I think for a lot of us, it's a scary time. The virus has gone global a lot faster than I think a lot of people were expecting. It gets closer when you start to hear loved ones or friends of loved ones coming down with the virus. So I've been holding up okay, knowing that my health is okay, my family's health is okay. But obviously, there's a lot of fear and there's a lot of uncertainty. So I've been doing everything I can to try and stay focused and think about the pandemic as little as possible.
A lot of our guests over the last couple of weeks have been giving tips on how do you stay active when you don't have access to a pool, you can't go to the gym like you used to, you can't be around your teammates, you're in the same boat as everyone else, maybe even tighter restrictions, being confined to a hotel. What are you doing to stay active? You're a former athlete. How do you keep your heart rate up? Those sorts of things.
Yeah, no, that's a great question. I'm, stuck in a hotel room, so I've got very, very little space. What I've started doing is, obviously for my own safety and the safety of others, I put a mask on and I go to the staircase in the hotel and I'll just go up, 10, 15 flights, take the elevator back down to limit impact on the knees, and just keep doing that a couple of times until my heart's racing. I'll do some push-ups in the morning. I think sticking to a routine, getting up every day, doing, 20, 50 push-ups just to get your blood going, take a break, sit down for a little bit, set a timer. So I'll set a timer once I sit down for about an hour. At that hour, I'll get up, I'll do 10, 15 more push-ups. I think it just helps to have some sort of normalcy when we're all stuck in this place. It's easy to get confined to your chair, sit around for a long time, eat snacks, feel sorry for yourself. So for me, honestly, it's just been thinking about getting up and just doing something. And that's really helped me.
You bring up a great point. So many people have talked about the importance of a routine, especially in your situation, but they've also talked about kind of the anxiety of waiting to get back to normal and not being in their regular state of mind, in their regular state of being, where they go to school, they go to practice. Just tell us more about that routine and how vital that's been day in and day out to kind of have a plan of attack for each day.
Yeah, I think for me, it's again, I go back to being in a totally foreign place, right? There is so much that I don't know about this area. I'm in a foreign country. I live in a foreign country now, and going back there is not even really home. So it's routine has really given me a sense of security at this time. It's not even for health reasons, it's for mental health reasons, like physical health versus mental health. Having a routine keeps your mental health strong. It allows you to focus on things other than the sad situation that we can't go outside. It keeps your mind occupied in a way that is almost meditative. So routine for me has really been a safe place to kind of keep my mind active, keep myself sane, as we continue on week, for me, it's got to be week 16 or something of this coronavirus thing. So hold strong, stay strong. Call your family, I think, is another great routine for me. I call my wife, I call my parents every day at least once. And that's really, allowed me to stay out of the depressed state that I think a lot of people are finding themselves in. So yeah, I encourage everyone to just find something. If it's once a day, if it's twice a day, whether it's physical or just a call home, all these things are going to positively contribute to your mental health.
Yeah, it's fascinating. Even though we're all now socially distant, far apart, I feel like people are connecting in ways they never have in the past. I know personally, I've been on reunion Zoom calls with people I have not talked to in 10 years, 15 years, old friends from school from years ago. It's interesting how everyone now with a little bit more free time is able to reconnect. And maybe that's been one positive of all of this.
Yeah, 100%. I think that people are finding being alone in your apartment or, just being with one other person, it's taxing and you have to give each other space. And it's, for me, I'm fortunate, Fortunately or unfortunately, I'm alone, so I'm not going to be encroaching on anyone's personal space. But when you are with somebody else, it's nice to just take a second, reach out to people that you really care about and haven't been able to reach out to because you haven't had the time. We all have the time now. Weekends are, melting into the weekdays. So just pick up the phone, call somebody, or message somebody you haven't talked to in a while. It's refreshing. I totally agree with you. It's a trend that I think we've all wanted to get back to, but a trend that hasn't really hit because nobody has had, quote unquote, the time to do it. So yeah, silver linings.
You spent a long time playing water polo at Corona Del Mar High School in Southern California, then at Harvard on the East Coast. I'm curious, those water polo years, that routine of morning practice, of afternoon practice, of the games and the travel, how much did that routine kind of help you when you had to build a new routine in this circumstance?
I think there's a mental toughness for water polo players that I think it's for most athletes, where you develop this ability to kind of snap yourself out of whatever laziness that you're experiencing. It's like when we used to have to wake up for morning practice at 5 a.m. and the last thing you want to do is get out of bed, and then you have to jump into a freezing cold pool. Like those sort of experiences just build almost mental calluses. So I still have that ability to jump out and jump into a figurative cold pool of getting into work, or, jumping into the staircase and running up and down for a while like an insane person. But yeah, I think the routine has been built into me, and it's been built into a lot of us. When you're young and you're doing this all the time, as you get older, you don't really lose that drive. It's really just tapping back into it and finding it again. It's like riding a bike in a lot of ways. And for me, what's funny is a guy that I used to play water polo with in college, I still talk to almost every day. And him and I talk about the same things. It's like, you've got to treat it like practice back in the day. It's like you're in your college dorm, or you're in your house at home, and your parents are like, you need to go to practice. And for us in college, it's like, holy crap, we have practice in an hour. I got to get mentally ready. It's that same sort of cold water to the face feeling of just, all right, got to do something different, got to switch it up, change my mental frame, and just do something.
As you think back on those water polo days, Harvard, CDM, is there a favorite moment or moments that come to mind?
Yeah, I mean, for me, the greatest times were, I'd say, games. It's that moment after the whistle blows and you start the game. I really miss it, and it doesn't have anything to do with my routine today, but it's just that idea of being part of a team and having people who are all just as ambitious and excited to do something as you are. That's like, it's such a rare thing when you become, an adult in the real corporate world or nonprofit, whatever the heck you're doing. It's in a job, it's hard to find teammates with as much commitment to the thing that you're doing as you. So that's what I miss most. It's that whistle blowing, everyone going 110% to go get the ball, or, cover up on defense, whatever it is. But that is certainly something that stuck with me for a long time, and I still look back fondly on.
We've had these at home with USA Water Polo emails that go out every Monday. We've been connecting with the water polo community day after day to try and keep everyone close and occupied and busy and engaged with the sport that they love. I know you've been out of it for a little while, but for me, the last couple of weeks has really been a reminder of what a big family this sport is. And I'm curious, in your mind, that obviously your family is still entrenched in the sport quite heavily, but yeah. what does that phrase, a water polo family, mean to you?
Honestly, water polo family to me means, again, it's a loyalty and it's a commitment to something that is so unique. I think water polo is such a small world in a way, but as I've traveled, internationally, being in Dubai, being in China, it's like amazing how close water polo can bring me to people, even in those markets. Like when I moved to Beijing, I'll give you an example. I met a Hungarian guy, and I think he was like the ambassador of Hungary or something for China, but he played water polo, and that's where we connected. It's like we met at this random event, and here we are talking about practices. And in Hungary, people used to steal his lunches before practice because that's what the older guys did. And it's just that that kind of shared connection that we have as water polo players and, parents and friends of players. It's like, it's just such a unique thing. Um, and I've played many sports, but I haven't seen that same, it's a unique feeling and it's a unique connection, I think, because the world is so small. So water polo family, I guess what it means to me is loyalty, commitment, and shared experiences.
This week for our at-home series has been all about college water polo, and we've been talking with college coaches all week. And I know since you played in college, I'll kind of ask you this because we've been asking everyone we've come across kind of their best practices. But if you think back to your high school days as you were getting ready for college, and then being in college and being successful, are there things that you felt like you did or that your teammates did, whether it was in the classroom or just the way they carried themselves, that made for a good experience and made for a successful experience?
Yeah, I think that one's easy for me. I think when you get to a certain level, when you're playing water polo, there are always going to be people who are better than you. There are always going to be people who are working harder than you, whatever it is. I always think the most important thing is your attitude. You keep a positive attitude even when things seem really rough, smiling, saying good job to people. All of those things go such a long way and create such a powerful and positive experience for everybody that you're playing with. Even when you're in games, just smiling and, laughing at things instead of taking it too personally. And obviously there's different levels of this, but I think just having that positive attitude and bringing that to every practice, every game is such a powerful thing. And it's so often overlooked because we're tired and we're stressed. But yeah, that's my big tip, my big advice is just stay positive. There's no benefit of being negative.
That's great advice, and it's one that we've heard others say, and so it's one of those things where you get a lot of people saying it. It's a consensus. It's something you should do. You should bring that positive energy. Last thing, you've talked about the workouts. Obviously, you're still busy with work while you're there. How do you kind of unwind? Is there a show you're binge watching or something else you're doing just to try and take your mind off things?
Yeah, I mean, gosh, I'd love to say that I'm watching tons of TV. What I love to do is I love to listen to music. I think
Okay.
I'm a workaholic in a lot of ways, so I'd be putting in 16-hour days sometimes, and
Wow.
my relief is always listening to some really good music, whether it's jazz. I've listened to this guy, he's kind of lo-fi, uh, jazz in a way. His name's Tom Mish, great background music. Obviously, I'm one of those millennials who's interested in listening to lo-fi hip hop when I'm studying. But I think music is a fantastic escape. It allows us to kind of disconnect from the problems we have and that the problems we're facing and take a second to reflect. So yeah, that's how I've been getting through it. Music, and from time to time I'll watch some YouTube videos, but it's it's a rare thing for me, but to have time to binge watch a lot of things. And I'm sure it's a rare time for a lot of people. So find your thing and latch onto it, because that's what's going to help us get through this together.
Excellent stuff. Well, Evan, appreciate you taking some time. I know it's a weird scenario, but hoping you get home and get back to family soon.
No, pleasure, Greg.